From Nottingham. Well, the Financial Conduct Authority started an inquiry into alleged mis-selling of policies by HomeServe last year, and the company could face a multi-million-pound fine. HomeServe told us they're contacting all the customers who may have suffered detriment. They're writing to people who bought policies between 2005 and 2011, but they say they believe only a small proportion of them will be affected. Paul Stubbs is a litigation lawyer. He's an expert in consumer affairs. He's from Edward Hans and Lewis Solicitors in Leicester. Paul, you are entitled then to a refund that is owed to someone who's dead.
Good afternoon. Well, the situation that we see ourselves in here is that Mrs. Peasy has been acting as the executor on her late father's estate, and in accordance with the information that she had at the time the estate accounts were drawn, she's dealt with it correctly. What she didn't know is that the estate may benefit from what we now see as a compensation payment from this product. So yeah, she's entitled to have a look at that. And if there is a payment to be made, then the estate accounts will be reopened, adjusted, and the beneficiary is paid accordingly.
If it's all been sorted, though, now, and the estate's account signed off and everything, would it be worth going to all the effort?
Well, it could be. I mean, what Mrs. Peasy says in the article before me is that she's not yet been able to determine what the extent of any compensation might be. So I think she needs to continue with her investigation. I'm aware that in her case she has said, yes, I do want this to be looked at more fully. And if the answer is that there is compensation to be paid, then she may have a duty to the beneficiaries, which may be her, other siblings, other relatives in accordance with the will, to actively pursue those sums.
So how would the money be divided?
In accordance with the will that was from her late father, or if no will, then in accordance with legislation in respect of the absence of a will.
Now, what worries Diana Peasy is that she can't answer some of the questions and only her father knows the answers. We asked HomeServe what she should do. They told us they will, I'm quoting now, work with customers on a case-by-case basis to try to help them through this process. What advice would you give, Diana?
Well, she's done the right thing. What she has done is she said, I don't know the answers to the specific question, would he not have purchased this policy, but can you please investigate? Now, it's a matter for Home Service to whether public policy or customer care says that they're going to process that in accordance with what's reasonable at the time.
And do you think she needs a lawyer?
At this stage, I don't think she does. What's happening here is HomeServe have taken note of the FCA's investigation. They've looked at the publicity they're getting in terms of what happened in 2010, 2011, where Mrs. Peasy's late father was affected, and they're processing those claims. She could need a lawyer if they reject the claim and she thinks it ought to be taken to the next stage.
Paul Stubbs, solicitor from Edward Hans and Lewis. Thanks for coming on and telling us that. We're having a lot of emails coming in about the efforts that Sandra Hempel's husband went to get rid of her Christmas lights. This one